in September, in particular, Minister, you went to the floor of the House and made an announcement that an agreement had been reached by government and Vedanta, and they would be coming back to run the operations of, KCM. Last week on Friday, there was a question or a motion moved by Pambasha Member of Parliament Ronald Chitotela, who was alleging that you as Minister of Government had renegade on the fact that there's no agreement signed between Zambia and Vedanta Resources. What do we make of your announcement, the comeback of Vedanta? Do we have an agreement on this comeback or not, Minister?
Costa, thank you very much, and I appreciate that you asked this question, because I think that in the past 2-3 days, there's been a lot of misleading statements that have been going on in the media. I think that one tabloid newspaper even did a headline which was very misleading. I think that it is important for you media houses to pick the right information so that our people are not misled. And I would have loved, Costa, if we had time, for you to play both recordings, the one where we were announcing with Vedanta and ZCMIH, and the ministerial statement that I had put up in Parliament, where I gave the details of the deal. Now, Costa, when you are doing a deal, and we had said ourselves that we are going to come out of court with Vedanta and sit around the table and begin discussing. Now, when you are discussing, the very first thing that you do is to agree. When you agree, that's when now you start putting documents in place as you are agreeing. You realize that KCM is still under provisional liquidation, meaning the shareholders agreement was suspended. The board itself, the board was suspended, and the implementation agreement was not there. Everything has been suspended because it is in provisional liquidation. Now, what we did was first and foremost to sit around the table with Vedanta to agree on what, the conditions on which they re-enter the asset. We agree on the conditions that will make them re-enter the asset. And therefore, we had protracted discussions, protracted negotiations until we came to an agreement of what was on the table. So the agreement between us and Vedanta is there. We have agreed as ourselves and Vedanta, and I think that is the announcement we made to the country. We told the country that now Vedanta will be coming to run the mine. And in the agreement, these are the issues. Now, there will be a process that will be run, that will lead now to signing the documents that we have agreed upon. Meaning, because of the issues were in court, there was suspension of the board, there will be need to reinstate the board, there will be need to sign the shareholders agreement, there will be need to sign the implementation agreement, and then the legal processes must finish. That is why, even after we have agreed that Vedanta is coming back, Costa, you are not seeing them in KC. Why? Because the legal processes must run. And this is what is happening now. So whatever we announced to the country is what us and Vedanta as government have agreed, that this is what will be in the shareholders agreement, this is what will be in the implementation agreement, but then they are what are known as drafting issues. They have to draft these documents so that they speak to the agreement that we have done between ourselves and Vedanta.
Minister,
and this is what...
Minister, just to ride on there, in short, Minister, and I listened to your response on the floor of the House on Friday last week. In short, the Zambian government and Vedanta have not put any ink on paper yet on this deal. We are still in the process of signing the agreement.
I think you need to hear me very clearly. I'm talking about drafting. Costa, when you and I have done an agreement, We have to get that agreement, take it to the lawyers so that they draft it. You get my point? Even when we were announcing, that is why the ZCCM IH board chairperson gave it 3 months for this whole process to run. But as government, in fact, we want to run even before the 3 months elapses. We want all these processes to finish so that the shareholders agreement is reinstated, the implementation agreement is put in place, and the shareholders themselves, the board is reinstated, the provisional